So this is the code that they introduced in that video, and you can see again that they use proper variable names. Point A equals 1, point B equals 4, point C equals 6.5. So we can see when we actually do our effects, it's very clear what we're talking about. In fact, I would go even further and change some of these values here, like the 20 and the 1000, to be variables, min frequency and max frequency. So then we could read this straight across, maybe even change the 1 to a track 1, set effect track 1, filter frequency, min frequency point A, max frequency point B. Then we can go to these variables and very easily go ahead and adjust these numbers to experiment with our entire song without having to go through and change all these values everywhere. You know, instead of hard coding numbers in here, we could go ahead and pick and choose. Maybe we want our frequency to go from 200 to 1,000, 10,000, or 200 to 20,000. And rather than having to change it in this line of code and find that somewhere, we could have our variables up at the top and just change those variables and run it to hear what the different effects are. So we can add an envelope to any effect. We've talked about reverb before, and this is an effect in which the sound persists after it's initially played. Similar to a delay, reverb creates a slowly delaying ambiance, whereas the delay, we have to pick how that gets cut off. In this, the reverb, that happens at a very short time period. We're not going to be able to extend the time as much as we can in the delay function. And we can also choose a delay decay, which is at the rate at which that reverb occurs. And mix that in with the original sound if we choose. So here's what the reference sound sounds like. Let me turn that down a little bit. So here's the sound, and then we're going to hear the same sound with the reverb. So you could add envelope to make that sound effect kind of fade in and fade out. So adding envelope to any one of these effects is possible. It's all part of the set effect. So you would just choose to use some more of those parameters in the list of 7 there. So set effect now, as far as we're concerned, has 7 parameters, and we can pick and choose which of those parameters, at least after the first 2. The last 5 are optional. So now for your assignment. Take the song that you made in the last lesson, and you're going to add envelopes to it. So you had 3 sound effects in the last lesson, and each one applied to a block of 5 measures. For each of those effects, I would like you to modify the set effect function. So you're adding an envelope. In other words, you're adding when the effect starts and when the effect stops within that 5 measure block. And you can make it start at measure 2 and then go to measure 3 or measure 2.5. You choose what you want for the envelope, and you choose what kind of change you make, but it should be enough of a change that I can hear it when I play it. So just like the volume faded in, if you're using some other effect like distortion, I should hear no distortion, and then that distortion should increase as the effect goes on. And you only have to do that one time. You don't have to go through and make it fade out again. You only have to make it either fade in or fade out. You pick whichever way you want to do that. So do that envelope for all 3 of your effects from the last lesson and submit it again like always. Upload the code, upload the MP3 file, and also cut and paste your code from your ear sketch into the written submission. So you need to have all 3 so I can see it and grade it. That's it for our lesson. Never stop coding.